wallet is sobbing. I can hear it. I can hear it in the hall now. It is breaking down, crying.
It turns out that Attila, the arrogant so-and-so, he's got a fake hammer.
Oh, a fake?
Yeah.
Whoa.
As I say, dick.
So welcome to Your Allegiance episode 93. We're back on the internet. We're back podcasting virtually after our little trip to New Jersey where we got to do it in person. Is that right, Mal?
Not sure what we got to do in person, but yes, John, we did.
That was obviously before I got there. You guys, go for it.
Yeah, I was fast asleep when you turned up, you know, or were you fast? Yeah, I was fast asleep, yeah. So yeah, 25th, I think it was 25th of October, we recorded the chat with Jeremy, and now it's 20th of November, so that's nearly a month where we, because obviously we had a couple of recordings done in advance with the different guests, so yeah, that's a little bit of a while. Yeah, I feel like I have to relearn this crack again, you know.
Yeah. As somebody whose wife's birthday is 2 weeks today, time is flying, and I'm not panicking at all. Oh my God, time's flying.
Right, and my wife's birthday is next weekend, so or next week. It's the 26th. So
my wife.
Yeah, my wife.
I don't have a wife.
You're many wives.
Yeah.
So both Sagittarius, Rich. There you go. So what does that mean? Not that I'm into horoscopes or anything, but
I don't know. Kerry's quiet, but you wouldn't want to mess her around, otherwise she'd beat the living shit out of you as soon as look at you. She's small but feisty.
Okay. My wife wouldn't resort to physical violence now, but yeah, she can definitely
Kerry would
deal with people.
But she's got a stare that, oh my God, you know if you've upset her. And unfortunately, my daughter has picked up said same stare, so I'm in real trouble now.
Of course, yeah. That's the thing. They always pick up the good and the bad stuff. So yeah. You're going to have to deal with that. Well, you know, hopefully you're not on, you know, some public transport or something and she stares at somebody and then you have to step in. That wouldn't be good, would it?
It would not, no.
So, Rich, I mean, we've talked a lot in the intervening time, but the last time we chatted on the podcast was intern. And since then, we've obviously been and gone. Next week, I think we'll talk about our kind of Legion's Gone experience and the hall and all that we got. Not the hall that Legion's Gone was in, but the HAUL that we got, the stuff that had our...
My wallet is sobbing. I can hear it. I can hear it in the hall now. It is breaking down, crying.
Big time sobbing, yeah.
Well, let's put it this way. This time I'm at least happy to talk about my haul, as opposed to last year where there's no way I was mentioning it or showing pictures.
You were more reasonable this time, I think.
A lot more reasonable, yeah. I didn't stick to my limit of no. I said to you boys, didn't I? I was like, no more than 2 or 3 full customs. Absolutely not 100% no. And I bought 8. But hey, that was less than half the amount last year, so I'll take that as a positive. I
have to say, though, that you played the more sensible game. Okay, I think you bought a couple of things in advance, but you did more like, oh, I've sold some stuff at the table. Now I'm going to spend that money, which is, that. I mean, that's sensible.
That was the plan.
It's more sensible, at least.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I need to sell at least X amount, or else I'm completely broke.
Yes, and I would have had a bit more money left over, but the custom figure that I'll show on next week's episode, I just couldn't not buy that, despite knowing that I'd already bought too many. Yeah. You two know the one I'm talking about. I came back with a big grin on my face and was cradling it like a baby.
Yeah, well, I don't think... You've sent me so many pics for next week's episode already that I don't think I have much talking to do, so that's great. I can relax the vocal cords. Yeah, well, I'm still struggling from financially from the 200 quid extra baggage charge because I was dumb and didn't really organize my baggage properly. In that I brought with me too small of a carry-on bag, so I couldn't get those. What was it? £7? No. How much was I over? £15? So it was a lot.
Yeah, you were £15 that you were way over. Yeah.
But like I only had a rucksack. So if I had the cabin baggage like you guys, I could have got, you know, I could have distributed it more evenly. So yeah, I literally couldn't get £1 from one bag to the other. So, or, you know.
No. And unfortunately for you, me and Mal both were absolutely rammed.
That would have still been money would you have had to, you know. sent to me, or, you know, it would have been just, I suppose we could have repacked to the other side. I don't know. No, we couldn't.
Not unless you're diverted to Heathrow.
We couldn't. Yeah, sorry, lost the run of myself there. Yeah, so, what, you know, if you live and learn, that's my third time there. It's the first time that happened. So, you know. But you see, I think I bought some more stuff this year, but I unboxed a lot of it, which it still weighs a lot.
Unboxing's a good idea.
Yeah, but it still weighs a lot.
It still weighs a lot, yeah. My bag was £2 over when I got to the airport, so I did a quick bit of shifting around this year. But
I'd say I had about 20, you know, or was it 10 kilos, 20 pounds of t-shirts. I must have had. I didn't realize t-shirts weighed that much. Because, okay, I bought some t-shirts in advance, but then I also, like, people gave you some t-shirts, or you know, I bought some t-shirts from the Cabal shop that I didn't expect to be buying, but they had some cool ones there, so kind of had to. So yeah.
Yeah, see, I didn't buy a single shirt yet. Still came home with 6 more than I left here with. So people were very generous with handing stuff out.
That's good, yeah. So I have stuff to wear for
my Wolf King shirt.
What do you got? Oh, I've got Legion's ladies. Thought I'd represent the ladies.
I've just got my old MCM Comic-Con one, I'm afraid.
Oh, there you go. But yeah, so we have lots of shirts to wear on the shows this year and different things. And we also did, I'm sure you noticed if you listened to last week's podcast, and if you are someone that catches on YouTube, last week's podcast was audio only. So if you go back on your favorite podcast player to catch that, it's I think one of my favorite episodes anyway that I've edited, listened to. I think we were in a great mood after intern, and it just it came across pretty well. But I did lots of those, you know, you're listening to the Your Legions podcast with different people, little stingers, and so we have loads of them. I think we have more than 20.
The little vox pops you got with people were really cool.
Yeah,
as well.
That was fun. Yeah, we were just doing a short one with, was it you and me, Mal, and then Greg came up and spoke to us for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, something like
that. It was you and me, and then Rich came in at the end.
Give me a proper title, John. The Lord of the Armoury.
Sorry, the Lord of the Armoury, Greg. Yeah. Well,
he had a crown and everything.
Sir Ukchak, Lord of the Armoury.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to live up to there. But yeah, you did come home with a bit of a dose of COVID, Rich. So
I did. Thank you to whoever gave me that over there.
I know it wasn't us two, because we escaped scot-free.
No,
I've never been better after a transatlantic trip. It's incredible.
Yeah, I know it wasn't deliberate, but thank you anyway, whoever gave me that. No, I'm feeling fine now though. Yeah, it was on the sofa for like 4 days, but feeling tickety-boo now.
Oh, super. Yeah, you did. I remember just from chatting with you that you had I think it was 1 or 2 days you were really struggling, and I was even starting to feel a bit of sympathy for you.
Don't get too carried away, John.
No, I won't.
You're such a big baby, folks, when you I'm so ill.
I kept sending to them snotty video calls going, no, I didn't.
No, he didn't. No, he lost his voice. Thankfully.
Well, worse thing, I lost my sense of taste.
Yeah,
I was borderline suicidal for like 3 days. Like, I'm ill and I can't taste anything. Oh my goodness me.
That's terrible, yeah.
Because I'd hate that.
In my early 20s, I had bad sinuses, and until I got an operation to fix it, I didn't smell for maybe 2 or 3 years. I didn't have any sense of smell.
Oh, wow.
And that sucked for food. I mean, you could still taste, but it wasn't the same. So I was really only enjoying if it was really spicy or really, you know, a really big flavor. Anything subtle, not happening. You know, so.
Yeah, it sucks.
It does suck, yeah. And then the weather sucks as well. Yesterday was the first time I saw the sun since I got back from America, which is nearly a week and a half ago.
Yeah, I had the joy of
snow.
Oh yeah, snow. You got snow?
Yeah, we had snow down here as well. Not as much as Birmingham, but we had snow.
We
had to hack the ice off the
overnight, but I don't know.
Yeah, I had to hack the ice off the car this morning. Minus 2 degrees or wherever it was at 6:45 in the morning. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
At which point I find out we don't have an ice scraper at the moment, so I had to use my driving license as the firmest plastic thing I could find.
We got Atlas going across the screen there on Mal's. He's trolling you, Rich.
Yeah, boo. Without spoiling next week's episode, I haven't done anything with it yet.
No.
But I'll find a suitably good use for it.
Yeah, selling it on the Jones 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, I will not sell it. But I did sell an actual Atlas at Legion's Con, so that was good. Got a piece
that's
of
right,
the house.
Yeah, you had a lot of interest in that. And then, was it Saturday you had a lot of interest in that bird? I don't know, one of the birds that you had?
Yes, Colonel Domesticus.
And then you reduced the price on Sunday and nobody looked at it.
Nobody looked at it. No, one guy did.
It's
and
insane.
he was like, could you drop that price a bit more? And I was like, it's like almost $100 cheaper than yesterday. So no.
Oh, right.
Very strange.
That guy. But everyone that went to your side of the table on Saturday that I noticed was picking it up and looking at it or, talking about it. So
it's a rare one. I mean, the birds generally are rare, but that one is, that and Scarletros are the two really pricey ones.
Okay. Is there a story behind them that they're more rare, or is it just...
Not that I know of. I think Scarletros, for some reason, people just like the parrot theme, I think.
Okay.
And I'm not sure with Colonel Domesticus. He's a cool looking chicken.
It's the name.
So, maybe there's lots of chicken
like
keepers.
That, yeah. Who doesn't like that? Yeah. And speaking of birds, we're going to get Ether on again. It's maybe something we can get onto, but it's just good to pop it in there. So with the bird body will be coming back if they do it that way. Or are they going to do a different version of the bird body or what? That's going to be very interesting to see. But before all that, should we get on and talk about what people must have found strange that we didn't talk about last week, but that's because we recorded it after intern, as you found out. The G-Con wave. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Right. We have a little theme this week. We're going to have people from Legion's Lounge do the segues.
Hey, all you rockers and rollers and bowlers. This is Nate Strong, otherwise known as Corona 4, and you are listening to the Euro Legions podcast.
You are indeed. Thanks, Nate. Cheers. Right.
Just to be clear, Nate, too, there's no residuals on this, just so we're clear on that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just the 20 I gave you. No, I didn't give any money out just in case someone did it and is looking now for money. So we had G-Con Wave, the rise of Rise of the Beasts.
Reign of the Beasts.
Reign of the Beasts. Oh God. After completely messing it up after all this prep.
This is the joy of live. This is the joy of live, John.
Yeah. Well, we're recorded, so I suppose I could do that again, but I'm not going to because, it even says it here on the screen.
Well,
released in
ignore my. Let me.
My eyesight's going
wrong.
My eyesight's going. Yeah. So. Oh, my beast is. Oh, see, I went on your headline. Yeah, exactly.
I know. I think I got it confused. Anyway, moving on.
Moving.
I'm working with idiots, everybody. Dear me.
Well, I got the right faction, and Basilia is my favorite faction. And the first figure, imagine they came out and basically revealed one of the main faction beasts as the first figure. What were you thinking then?
I think my main thought was, oh my God, this wave's going to be insane if they're showing this first.
Yeah.
Because as Jeremy said on the day, you normally get one or two good figures, but they're more sort of generic soldier types and that sort of stuff. Yeah. So to start off like all seeing, all dancing with this was just like, wow.
Yeah, they normally throw the, shall we say the one or two of the kind of side characters in first. But no messing around here. So we do have Basilia from the Convocation of Basilia, and she's a sorceress / goddess. And Mal, do you want to do the...
Shall I read the
biography? Yeah. This is what people are listening to this episode for, so you might as well.
Right, so the third of the great beasts to be called forth by Selene, the winged serpent Basilia, was granted the ability to access the magic that shapes the universe. Leading an assemblage of scholars committed to wielding the burden of such considerable abilities, Basilia and her followers were instrumental in shifting the balance of power in the First Great War by removing Pox's forces from the battlefield. As enigmatic as the powers that these scholars wield is the mystery behind the disappearance of the Coatl, a race of serpentine beings like Basilia. No one knows what happened to these beings, or if they do know, they are not revealing the secret.
Pretty cool. So a bit of mystery in there. I find the writing is getting even more literary, and I can only imagine certain people like Travis trying to stumble their way through these bios. Absolute
big old
clean run through that one, Mal. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, I think the names are a bit simple for Travis this year, so that was disappointing.
Well, I don't know when we get onto the wolf, or that one is not easy. It's got it's probably easy for a Welsh person because it's got a lot of consonants in it.
Oh, you said consonants. I was going to say there's a thing about continents later.
There is.
That was quite. Come on,
here all night.
Yeah, thanks.
So there she is, a beautiful snake with the kind of Aztec type appearance, with the feathers coming out of the headdress, and of course the wings. So we expected a winged serpent, I suppose, from the faction logo. So that's what we got. But I didn't expect a figure like this with the big massive tail and everything like that. Rich, I mean, you were grinning ear to ear when we got Snake.
Yeah, I every photograph of me from this period was just literal, just open jawed and just grinning like some sort of
slideshow. I have
lunatic. Yeah, I was very happy at this point.
And Mal, what's your impression of
fantastic? The colours are amazing. That was the big thing that struck me, is just how colourful she was, and the tail. I'm super interested to see how the tail ends up working and how it moves and
yeah.
and all that side, and everything about us.
Yeah, so you can probably see if you look at the picture of Basilia, either if you're watching us on YouTube or if you see it on the Horseman site. So this tail seems to be in segments, so you can definitely rotate the tail. I don't know if they'll be on a ball as well, but just say that you can rotate them. And then kind of halfway down, it seems to bend into a curve, and then you get the other part of the tail that goes kind of parallel to the ground, or, along the ground. And that one, I don't know, maybe that's going to be wired or something. I don't know. We can have a look around the back here. Could be wired, maybe, that piece.
I can't remember now what was said. They did say.
I mean, the dragon tail is wired at the end, isn't it? So I'd imagine they'd probably do the same with this at the very end, at least. So you could maybe have the rattle or whatever it is just sticking up a little bit or something.
Yeah, and you can see the detail of if you look at the back picture of her on the website, you can see the detail of the headdress and everything there. It's incredible.
It's the stuff that's plaited at the back too. I'd not noticed that before. That's really cool.
Oh yeah, the hair, yeah. That's really, really nice. I guess that's kind of part of the headdress or whatever.
Yeah. You know what that means?
All that means they're going to be separate, aren't they? Sorry, Rich, yeah?
I was just going to say, you know what the plaiting like that means? They're building up towards the antlers pulled back in a knot for Xylona.
Oh,
when it comes out.
You did call that.
They're prepping for it, so yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there we have her. Purple spell effect, so that's pretty cool. Good for those purple gang guys.
She's an incredible figure, though. I mean, it's I was looking at obviously it's weird when you're at G-Con, although the experience is amazing, it's really quite difficult to see the figures in detail.
Yeah, you're on your phone, and then you're like, should I be on my phone? I should be taking this all in.
And then you get the occasional idiot that has forgotten they can connect to Wi-Fi in the hotel and is there going, I can't get reception. I don't know what's going on. that was me. But I was looking at this in more detail, and it's like the little intricate details, like the fact that she's got a snake head at the bottom of the neck piece sort of thing. It's just that extra little thing.
Yeah.
Just gives it that, he doesn't need to do that. Eric could have just left that with a cool shiny gold thing, but no, there's a snake head there as well.
Yeah, but you've seen him sculpting, so he's pretty good at this stuff.
And who doesn't love an armored bra with feathers coming out the bottom of it?
Who doesn't? Yeah,
I mean, that's just awesome.
Must ask my wife if she wants an armored bra with feathers. I think I'll get a slap. Would be worth the question anyway. Yeah, and interesting here with the kind of belt piece here. That seems to be one of those 2.0 belt pieces, but it works.
Yeah, I mean, they were saying, weren't they, that we'll get on to the next figure in a minute, but they've done the snake tail, so you can, depending on what the top bit is, you can do a 1.0 or a 2.0. So
yeah, that looks like exactly like the torso joint.
We should also mention on. Sorry, I thought you'd finished. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Oh, I was going to say we should also mention on her. They've redone the Serpenspire staff.
They have, yeah,
completely.
Yes,
it.
Yeah, it's not as thick along the. So you can't, you're going to smash the hand of a 2.0 trying to get it into it. So that works, yeah. But good that I think it's cool that they keep the same design, so it's kind of consistent.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
And hey, this is a 2.0 build without ankles, so that's a positive for me. No wobbling and throwing itself off the shelf.
So yeah, we get this is we were missing, of course, two of the beasts from the line completely, the Basilia and Leodysseus, and this wave fixes that. And then they also said that they will redo Aetheron and Xylon as well. So we're going to get the 4 great beasts eventually again. And it's going to, if you're in on this wave, you'll be able to do the 4 great beasts over the next year or two. So that's really, really nice of them. Yeah. There's Trevor's beautiful environment shot.
So good, Trevor.
Where he's snuck in a sneaky tease of a reveal.
Well, 2 teasers. There's teasers everywhere in that one.
One in the background, and I see one in the
background as well. Mm.
Yeah.
Which I think everybody missed at the initial launch. I love the fact with the headdress too that it's the red and yellow, so it's almost like a fire or a phoenix effect almost sort of thing coming up from it.
And here you go. Here's the without kissing his ass too much, the brilliance of Eric is they're the same feathers from the Monkey King headdress that are coming out the back there.
Of course.
Oh, are they? I thought it was 1 or 2 of them, but yeah, they all Monkey King feathers.
Yeah, they're all the same. They're not different.
Cool.
They're all the same.
That's very clever.
Yeah.
So the connections are just at different angles to give it the.
Yeah.
That's nice. Oh, that saves them a bit of tooling. So.
Yeah.
Mm. This will be a weird thing to say, but the one thing that caught me slightly off guard with this, because I was expecting the figure, was the fact that she had a snake head. For some reason in my mind, I'd got her with a snake or a serpentine body, but more of a sort of a lizard head,
really?
Rather than a full-on snake head. So, and this works
on the
brilliantly.
Brain, so.
Yeah, I know. This works brilliantly and I love it, but I don't know, for some reason I was just expecting more of a lizard-style head with a serpentine body, but this is beautiful.
The ear of the snake. So we got another one as well, the Serpenspire Royal Guard. So...
at this point, I started getting palpitations.
Yeah, like in another snake. And this was even before, which we'll talk about next week in more detail, the figures at the show. And one of them, of course, was the Ninyan Infantry, which was the snake figure that we had a lot of fun with, running around to the horsemen to try and pick up an extra 1 or 2 or 6. Which I would have done if I didn't get there too late on Sunday. But
I'm going to talk about more next week, but can I, at this point, give a shout out, please, to the wonderful Brett Stoddart and Curtis, and especially Darla, obviously, because we know Curtis just tags along, because they gifted me snake men. So I had 2 snake men that I didn't even pay for. So thank you, Brett. Thank you, Curtis / Darla.
Nice people.
Yeah, wonderful people.
Yeah. Right, Mal, shall we go for the bio on this one?
Yeah. So, members of the Coatl, a reptilian race long vanished in Mythoss, the Serpenspire Royal Guard were comprised of the highest-ranking soldiers in Basilia's den of followers. Possessing fully serpentine lower bodies like Basilia herself, only the High Mages were above the Royal Guards within the ranks of the early convocation. Equally adept at wielding weapons in melee combat as they were with the weaving together powerful spells. No one knows how the soldiers disappeared from the realm, or perhaps that disappearance is not a mystery, but is one of the many secrets locked away in the vaults of Ophidian.
Ooh. So maybe it's a secret of how they can come back to the present day, yeah?
Well, it's
Also,
also
they just went off to somewhere else.
Is it
Yes,
also not setting up potentially more lizard men to come in the next wave that is the equivalent of the Ashes of Agbendor, which is the stories of in the Library of Ophidian, isn't it? So,
Mal, I hadn't thought of that. I really hope
he's
you're
not
right.
going to be able to. He's not going to be able to podcast now for the rest of it.
Yeah.
the framing just went up slightly.
He's just going to be asking questions, and his brain is going to be on lizard, snake, snake, more snakes next year.
Viper, rattle. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I'm even going as far as to say, we're getting the high mages.
Yes, true. It did talk about them, didn't it? As the only ones more powerful.
Yeah. So similar build, similar.
Yep.
Anyway, let's talk about this wave for now.
Yeah. So this is a 1.0 snake. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
The same, upper as Ninjan infantry. Yeah. So this is just such a sweet looking figure.
Yeah, it's badass.
It's got the headdress as well, like not the same one, but a similar style headdress as Basilia. It's also got like a kind of a helmet with shoulder piece. Is that from Anubis, or it's very similar to what Anubis has for sure?
Yeah, no, I think the shoulder pauldrons, they look like the ones that they were showing with the cosmic figures, don't they?
Yeah, they're the Thraxian
ones. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which are perfect for this, as is the waist piece. It's the Thraxian waist piece.
Yeah, no, it's different from what's with Anubis, so yeah. Very cool. And this is the kind of fully snake form without the gear, which I guess you'll have how many of these on the shelf, Rich?
As many as I can squeeze onto an IKEA Billy shelf, it has to be said.
Is Basilia now your new favorite faction?
No. But there's no reason why, I couldn't have vampire snakes as well.
Oh my goodness.
Mal's like, there's every reason. Shut up.
The fangs. They've already got fangs.
Exactly. They're perfectly made to be the vampires.
Yeah.
No, I'll be getting lots of these, I think it's fair to say, when they
you can have a white snake and you can play whatever white snake's on you want.
Wishing you off the top of my head, I could burst into song now, but I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Yeah, so this uses the shield that comes with the dwarf pack as well, which was an interesting choice, but cool. The staff is one of the Basilia ones that comes with one of the figures in the Boxus Wave. I think
is it Zende, is it?
Zende, yes. Zende is what I would have said as well, yeah. Which makes sense because they're the same faction, so they would have the same type of weapons. This belt piece is from the Thraxian. You boys just said that, so and they even have some soft goods, so very cool. And this other feather piece it looks like feathers on a sort of a
coat hanger.
Yeah,
okay.
Didn't want to say coat hanger because that's unkind.
It's the same staff as comes with Samir.
Okay, one of the wizards. Yeah, okay, the good wizard.
Yeah.
Cool. And there you see all the stuff that gets with him. This new kind of weapon is like an Aztec kind of I love this club weapon.
Such
really cool.
Weapon. Yeah.
And you see that you get an extra piece for the tail there, which gives it a different type of bend, I believe. So that's the piece that basically goes down, touching the ground there. That bit at the bend. So the other piece will give it a different shape. So
So the one it comes with is rigid, so it stands up, and then this one is more of the flexible.
Bendy.
And I presume Basilia will be the same.
Stand, yeah.
Because they didn't say with Basilia, but I'm presuming she'll have the same sort of thing as well.
I think they did say. I think they
did
maybe mentioned
say,
it in the room, but it
yeah.
wasn't evident there.
I'll be honest, my head was spinning at this point.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah. So there you go. The two heads are the same as we get with the Legion's Con Snake Man, I believe.
And that open mouth sculpt is fantastic.
They said, although they look similar, they're actually different sculpts.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Very cool. So I wonder then if that kind of pattern on the top of the head here is actually sculpted as well, as
Might
opposed
be.
to just paint, like not just painted, but as opposed to just painted effect.
But again, how cool is it that the Horsemen will do that? They're not going to just reuse the same head sculpt. It's like, no, they're different ones.
Yeah, I think they're at that point now where they can do a little bit more and keep the prices the same. So these are, the pricing is very much in line with what we've had before in this wave. These are deluxe figures, these first two, if I remember well. So they are at the $45 price point.
Which deluxe $45. It's just
it's just an extra $5, yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
But it's
these are $5, and the standard figures, which we get onto later, are $40.
You think that's cheaper than what Super 7 charges for their ultimates. You're like, oh dear.
Yeah, crazy. So
I love the fact with this too that again, they're embracing the Mesoamerican stuff, which is awesome. And I really love they've done that. But also the fact that he's wearing an eagle helmet. That's very much, I can't remember if it's Mayan or Aztec sort of thing, but that's really a traditional look.
Yeah.
So it's a snake, but he's wearing that traditional look to give it that real world feel as well, sort of thing. I love the fact that that's the design they went for.
Yeah, and that headdress could be reused on various different figures, or indeed, of course, customs, which is what this line is very easy to accommodate. So yeah, there's another Trevor shot. We should always shout them out.
Another amazing shot. And you can see it quite well there too, but again, on the neck piece, there's a snake. So it's like, I think it's a different neck piece to Basilia.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it's just putting those extra details in.
Yeah, sweet. And then the next one we have is Genom. So
sorry, John. Before we move on to that, one more point, and you can edit this however you want it.
No, go for it.
He's got a weapon on the end of his tail.
Yes.
Which I thought was a really nice little touch.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's like a spiked or a bladed weapon at the end of his tail. Yeah. So it's just like, how good is that? It's not just a snake. It's a snake that, can slice you with his tail as well.
That's sweet. Yeah. And these other ring pieces here, they must go on the tail then as well, or do they?
I think the two of them are for the wrists. I think the thick ones are for the wrists. Yeah.
Gotcha. I see them there. Yeah. Oh, we're learning here. Love it. Right. We have Genom. Yeah.
Genom.
So the website didn't have a picture of him on this kind of bio page. So that was interesting. I should have maybe told Jeremy, but I didn't want to be that guy either.
I'm sure plenty of people tell himself that. Don't be that guy, John.
Exactly. He'd probably be annoyed now that I didn't tell him. And then use the picture anyway for the show, or use the page. Anyway, so he's Circle of Poxus. So we're kind of Basilia versus Poxus so far. And he's an Ifrit. Is that right? Or
Ifrit.
Ifrit,
yeah. And he's rolled as a berserker. So yeah, he's we'll see why he's a berserker when we move on here.
You'd definitely get out of his way if you saw him coming, wouldn't you? Be like, just whatever you want to do, go for it.
Right. So big boy. Give us the bio of Genom there, Mal, so we can move on to the pictures.
The pictures. Fiends normally tethered to the infernal plane, Ifrits often act as cruel jailers to those unfortunate souls who find themselves trapped in the hellish realm. An elder Ifrit named Genom was summoned to Mythoss by Poxus during the First Great War, a living inferno who consumed all who stood in his path. Genom escaped the spells and banished the rest of Poxus' army, only to find himself defeated by the Coatl High Mage, who imprisoned him within the copper lamp. Originally kept in a secure vault of Ophidian, the lamp mysteriously disappeared a number of years ago, That magical vessel's whereabouts, along with the horror trapped within, is currently unknown.
We need to find that, along with the hammer, which we found here at the end, but this one...
I think they need to start hiring out the Templar Relic guards, because the rest of the guards can't guard anything, can they, by the looks of it? A hammer got taken, the lamp got taken, the scrolls are disappearing from Ophidian. It's like, come on, get the Relic guards in. They clearly know what they're doing.
Yeah, those snakes they're no good. Or they're infantry, so... they're royal guards as well, so I don't know what they've been at. So here he is. It's a brute scale dude on a flame.
That's all there is to say. Carry on. No.
Yeah. You can't top that description.
At this stage in proceedings, I was wondering if we were going to get a figure with legs. Because his flame effect is basically making him look almost like, the same shape as the other figures, the snake. So he's brute scale, obviously. Flaming sword, that's a big approval for me.
Good.
Flame effects on the wrists.
Oh, yeah.
The head is just mental looking.
Yeah, the amount of horns coming out of
it and everything. Yeah.
Just bonkers.
Absolutely, yeah. Eric was having fun with that. And he does also come with legs. So we got a figure with legs. So these are the brute scale legs, obviously, with the wraps and everything. So you can now make, I suppose, if you get him, well, maybe we might get them in between, but brute scale Fury Orc, just need a third party head.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And you get a pretty, they mightn't be the same red as the Fury Orcs, but yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, absolutely. He's bigger, so he's, slightly less red.
Yeah. Or you can just, if you were really into your customizing, you could, color it a bit more red towards the Fury Orc. Wouldn't be as difficult to paint red over red. But I love this guy. He's just such a cool metal kind of action figure, the flames, and then just this, you can still use him as just this big dude. And, you can still use the flame. There's what he comes with. I mean, you see some of those things on the figure itself. Obviously, the pauldrons. These are like the ones that come with, is it Azahazar? Or they are the ones maybe that come with Azahazar.
Oh, yes, they are. Right.
Oh, no, are they smaller? They must be smaller because it's blue.
No, they must be smaller, yeah.
But a similar type design.
Yeah.
And obviously the same lamp as is it Calazir?
Calazir. Yeah. Did you hear as well? I'm not sure if it was on the day, because I said my mind was blurring at this point, or they're in Jeremy's show, but they said they're planning on doing the blue smoke effect for Calazir as well.
That must have been
planning. What do you mean they're planning on? Like they're going to re-release him, or?
I don't know, but they just said as they've got the effect now, then they're going to do it in blue as well at some point for Calazir.
Because that's totally how
do like a pack. Could do an effects pack. Nice. That was a bit of went under the radar. I'm sure people that heard it like know it, but I didn't hear that widely spoken about. Very cool. You get a closer look at the head here as well. I mean, look at it. It's just like there's a tree grown out of it or something. Yeah. Or roots of a tree or something.
It is. It's interesting what you're saying about the legs, John. I think I made a note here saying didn't think I could get any more impressed after the snakes. And then this guy appeared, and it's probably because, again, it was like snake-esque. It was like, yeah, just keep it coming. Keep it coming. No legs.
Well, I mean, get a brute scale third-party head, snake head, Okay, the body doesn't really work, but yeah. But you could certainly make it a flaming snake. Or maybe they'll make a flaming snake.
Yeah. It's Mythoss, John. It's Mythic Legions. You can make anything work.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. So he's just a cool figure. Love him. He's building out the brute scale as well a bit more with different types of figures.
An absolute sucker for translucent. Although I don't think he's my favourite in the wave, but he's got a lot of things about him that are right up my street.
Right. Yeah, we should get favourites at the end. We can rank them in order. There's Trevor's shot. It's incredible. And he seemed to if we go back to the smoke effect here, it does get a little bit black towards the end, but he really, in the photo there, really the lighting brings out the kind of black.
Who's he about to destroy in that picture? Is that just bits of figures put together?
I think
that looks like the heads pack head.
Ah, yes. I was looking at the hair color, thinking I don't recognize that. But yeah, heads back.
Delphina / Gwendoline alternate head, done with the red hair, and then I guess that's like a barbarian too, the female barbarian body. Look at him. Incredible. And even the lighting there brings out the tattoos kind of on the face of the figure or whatever they are. The kind of markings. You can see them here kind of in the head. So really cool. I think they're sculpted in, aren't they?
Yes, I believe they are. Yeah.
Yeah, so a bit like the Azar and Zazar and the body, they're sculpted in, aren't they?
I think what I love about this guy is, I love Calazir, and he's got that traditional sort of djinn look. Whereas this guy just looks just like a mean mother humper.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, I'm just going to destroy you. And Trevor catches it really well with this picture, but it's just that, it's not just a djinn, it's a djinn that will, abandon the magic and beat you in an arm wrestling contest.
I'd like to hear a couple of side stories with this guy, kind of his adventures. You're on mute there, Mal.
I think that's the cool thing about him is he's going to be, especially if they're going to do the blue smoke effect for Calazir, those two on a shelf together just as a piece would look fantastic. The good djinn and the bad djinn. And he's actually one of the figures in this wave that I think could bring in new people when they see this figure. Because he's just so different to anything else that I can't think. I don't know.
Yeah, and a couple of the things I've listened to or watched where it's not Legion's focus, but more, collecting in general, where they've mentioned this wave, this is one of the figures they talk about more often than not as a kind of standout. Yeah. You're just cool. The rule of cool, Mal. That's it.
Yeah, 100%. And did we mention that the smoke effect rotates, which is you can see? Yeah,
you can see on the first picture here that you can see just at the very bottom there is kind of got a cut in the flame effect. Yeah. So
you're right there, Mal, about the bringing new people in as well, because this figure's cool, but then you got the snake people. You're gonna have people that just want snake people. Well, then you got the Roman.
More of you then. More people like you, Rich. Oh, dear.
Basically, the world. It's not a bad thing if the world's full of people like me.
But again, then you add that blue smoke effect to Calazir, and more people are going to suddenly start looking at Calazir.
Oh yeah, if we could get this big blue flame, wow, yeah, and then get it in green as well for somebody else. Oh yeah, right. We got to move on. Here's some green.
Would we get it in grey, do you think, for a vampire, Ifrit?
God.
I'm not obsessed, honestly. I'm just checking.
Or just a really big smoker in Mythoss.
He's been out in the sun.
Right. Arraya, the Talon bearer. So Arraya with 2 R's. So is it Arraya? The sect of Azarius. So this is the first time we hear this faction. So that's a new one. And she's a cultist. So also a new type of role. So pretty cool. Shall we read her bio so we can talk about her more?
Active during the first age of Mythoss, the Order of the Five Pillars was a cult whose beliefs were considered deeply heretical. Daring to question the story of the realm's creation, these cultists worshipped ancient creatures of immense proportions who they believed had existed in Mythoss for untold ages. Teasers all over the place. Members of the cults and the familiars that manifested as an extension of their faith were driven from the kingdom shortly after the First Great War. A scholar who initially fought beside Basilia, Arraya the Talon bearer, broke from the convocation to found the sect of how are we saying it? Sect of Arraysius, where she chronicled the evidence that formed the basis of the cultist belief. While those writings were ordered destroyed, evidence suggests that they were actually saved by members of Ophidian and remained hidden within the vaults of that kingdom's great library. Sorry about that,
We need
folks.
to get into that library.
It's got some names.
Yeah, that's okay.
We need to hire Snag, basically, to get into the library and get us some goodies.
Yeah, I definitely said it wrong the first time then. Sect of Arraysius. There you go. Yeah, so she is... this 5 pillars as well gets mentioned the first time, and that becomes important later for a very big reveal. So there she is. 2.0
with this reveal, we got the dragon. We
got it.
And everyone was like, I suppose we got a dragon then.
We got the dragon. I think Joe Vassapolo made a big deal of bringing out this dragon on the flight stand, looking like this as our dragon.
It's actually got points of articulation as well by the looks.
Yeah, it's a cool little figure.
On the legs, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
This is your, what you want in Cosmic Rich, your little creatures, This is
Basically, yes. So hopefully this could be the start of that sort of stuff.
Well, we've got a good few in Mythics now with Beluilith and her bone dudes, and we got the bird. Valak and Duban have birds. So.
Sorry, did you say Beluilith with her bone dudes? I don't remember that reveal in
Bone creatures. That's Mal's job to make those jokes. Stay in your lane.
Sorry,
like
sorry,
snakes and lizards.
I'll leave a smut female, sorry.
It's all right.
And what about our weapon here, Mal?
Nice.
I knew as I was saying that was going to happen.
It's very cool. I've got to say, she's a really weird one for me because everything about her I love. But from a design perspective, she's possibly not the most exciting character in the wave, but there's so much good about her. Like the weapon, the dragon, the story is, oh my God, the faction. I'm so excited about that faction.
Yeah.
But
And that face mask, cool. I don't think the face mask was that obvious, was it originally?
No.
And then once you zoomed in on it, you see the dragon scales and that sort of thing under the eyes.
Yeah,
it's
it's kind of got scales like a snake, like a dragon / snake. Yeah. I like her. A lot of soft goods doing the heavy lifting here on the kind of silhouette.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't realise till somebody mentioned at one of the shows too that her torso armor thing is the same as Array's axe.
Yeah.
So that's a clever reuse of that.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on it, but yeah, that's a really, really clever use of that.
Yes, and we got these look like the arms from Bastet.
Yes, somebody asked Trevor, and he said the underneath is basically Bastet's build.
Right. Oh, excellent. So are we potentially getting that cloth torso again? The wraps, the bandages, maybe, do you think? Although it doesn't look like it there, does it?
Well, we got some sort of wraps here as well as accessories.
Yeah.
Where are they going?
Are they little? They're
going around the wrist.
Serpent. They look like little serpents, don't they? Little serpent. Looks like a little.
Well, it could be, yeah.
Very exciting. And the dragon, obviously, we said is very cool.
It's very cool.
Dragon. The dragon just sets up. When they first came up, I was just like, it's a 2.0, okay. And then obviously spotted the dragon instantly, was like, well, that's got a dragon, so that's incredible. And then spotted the talon at the top of the weapon. It's like, oh, hello.
Yeah, and this little piece around the neck, that's part of the head, is it? Yeah, it is part of the head.
Yeah, it looks like it, yeah.
Kind of reminds me a bit of the Valak scarf, but obviously it's works in a different way if it's connected to the head. But people will, customers would be slicing that off and using it for different reasons.
Oh, goodness, yeah.
Very good. I see on Trevor's dios here, he's got a cool dragon as well behind on the dio on the left side here.
Yeah.
Oh, there's hints everywhere.
Oh, he's got that really cool. So I just spotted the cup behind her.
Yeah.
To her left, to our right, as we're looking, that's might actually be a customs piece. It's a very cool custom piece. That one. Yeah, I've got one of those.
That is very cool. I like that.
I'm sure they were delighted to see all these snake men. Right, shall we move on then? We give the 2.0 the time they deserve. Not right, Rich?
Oh yeah, it's plenty of time.
Right, shall I? Right. Not all of the soldiers who fought for Arraya in the First Great War were created by jealous god Helios. Some of those warriors were turned to the side of evil. The Gnoll were some of the Great Mother's most loyal followers, expert trackers who would be sent out to find and rescue those in need. A group of these animalians were captured by the God of War's forces, twisted and tortured. This gang of Gnoll trackers eventually forgot the teachings of Selene and the natural instincts of their race to become Arathea's most vicious hunters, tracking down his enemies and dispatching them with ruthless efficiency. Led by the cruel Mwindajii, this group became known as the Cacklers, while the peaceful Gnoll are one of the races that has long since disappeared from Mythos. Rumours persist of a pack of Cacklers who still roam the wastelands, hunting any who are unlucky enough to cross their path.
So, then we got a wolf dude. So, Mwindajii. Hyena. But it's going to be a werewolf.
It's going to be a werewolf. Oh,
yeah. At some point, that body's going to be a werewolf, yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think then, Rich? You got snakes and then you got this.
I was delirious at this point. It was just like, and the first thing I thought was, I can do a werewolf for that. And then the second thought that immediately behind it was, oh my goodness, I love hyenas. So that's really cool. I have a cosmic hyena in my Scumbags of the Galaxy, for instance.
And you also pointed out to me, at least, I don't know that it's got, what do you call it? I've gone blank. Articulation. Double jointed.
Oh, double jointed.
Yes, it's got the 3.0 articulation, yeah.
Yeah, so this is now 3.0, so we're going to get more complicated and nerdy when we talk about Mythic Legions builds when this one comes out.
Yeah.
So it's got butterfly joints in the shoulders and double jointed knees and elbows. So,
and I think with this build, I mean, I'm a bit like Jeremy Gerard in this aspect. I don't necessarily want double jointed this, that, and the others, but on this build, it works perfectly. The way the fur and everything, it blends in absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mal, did I just steal your line?
No, I was literally that is exactly how I feel. Spoiler. I think this might be my favourite from the wave.
Oh,
but
wow.
it's also the one I'm most nervous about because of that double jointedness, and how that will end up looking. So we'll have to see. Yeah. But he looks incredible, doesn't he?
Yeah. So he
really does.
He's got the couple of portraits here, the closed mouth, the open mouth, looking pretty fierce. The belt is awesome as well. It's a bit like Tarnon's belt, but I think it's different. Just the current Tarnon's has a kind of a skull on, but it's a different one. And the pauldrons are new as well, which is really cool.
Yeah, and it's the sort of fur limbs as well, isn't it, which you've not had before.
Yeah.
So again,
gone all out here, yeah.
And
we've got these, and obviously we do have Monkey King, who gave us some fur parts, not all the limbs and stuff, but feet and hands and
so anthropomorphic lovers are just in heaven at this point, and I'm one of them. It's amazing.
Well, it's called Reign of the Beasts, the wave. So they had to come. They had to come through with it. And I think every figure so far has had kind of beast stuff. Maybe the Genom guy, the fire dude. Yeah, he doesn't. Maybe, but he's still pretty beastly in himself.
I'll tell you what. One person that should pay attention to this figure is Sebadom, because he retired his werewolf head sculpt. But the way that's built, it fits perfectly with this build. It's more forward set rather than going on the top. So he should unretire that piece very quickly.
Yeah, but I guess their shop will be closed by the time this figure comes out. So
No, they've extended for another year.
yeah, but
Oh, cool.
this is not going to come out in a year.
Oh, by the time the figure comes out, sorry, I thought you meant the episode, John. Yes,
Yeah.
you'd have to buy it in anticipation.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Anticipation.
Who plans their customs like you, Rich? Nobody. That's the problem. People go spur of the moment. So this was.
I need to do more doing and less planning, I think, is the key with my customs.
This was the glamour shot from Trevor. My only problem with this shot was that because I was far from the screen and I'm old, I thought that it had back legs because of that tree in the background.
Yeah, totally with you on that one. I got very confused about what the thing was. And
and then
just
once
because
you see it in good resolution and up close, it's really cool. Love it.
Again, another figure going to bring people into the line. So a lot of people who have been. I mean, this just is a badass and werewolf type type creature. But those double joints, people who have
articulation snobs, you can come over now.
Yeah,
we'll welcome you in with open arms.
Yeah,
teach you how to customize legions.
And that's the exciting thing. There were parts of it. Jeremy did say there'll be parts that won't be compatible, but there'll be other parts that are compatible with. Was it 1.0? I think.
Yeah.
So
1.0.
That'll be fun that you can mix and match this with a 1.0.
Yeah, but I won't be ordering extras until I know which is which, if you know what I mean. I mean, I'll be ordering extras if I want an extra figure for myself, but I won't be ordering customizing extras until I know. So
I don't know though. There's you need a tribe of cacklers, don't you? So
you do. I think Jeremy said something like 53 is a tribe or something like
that. He's just trolling you with that.
No, I'm just teasing. He didn't say that.
Yeah, he's listening to these. Go, I didn't say. Okay. He's corrected himself. Yeah.
The weapons too. I love both the swords that come with this guy.
Yeah.
I think they're both new, aren't they?
Yeah,
they are. Yeah.
And that big one, I've got a 3D sculpted one from Sebadom, actually Planetary Dog Toys, that looks exactly like that. And it's just such a, it's a sword, but it's a bludgeoning sword. You're not messing around with that. It's like the Snake Man weapon. It's a club as much as it is a sword sort of thing. Yeah. So I love that. And then curved. I've said on the show before, I love curved blades. So
and I've got a custom that I could absolutely already, it's in the process of being made, that could absolutely use that curved blade. So I might hold off for a bit longer on that then.
A bit longer. Yeah. And this is Legion of Arthur. So again, another faction that gets pulled into this wave. So quite a nice variety of factions and stuff. And I think he fits in well with them, considering the bio. Right. Golden Pride of Leandorr. So this was the first kind of, I won't say boring, but kind of more... This would have been the figure I would have expected first in the general run of things, if you know what I mean.
This is the builder, isn't it? Let's see. And I mean, it's a hell of a builder, but it's
what a builder, though, dude.
Yeah.
Best builder ever.
Okay. Well, give us the bio, Val. We talk more.
The soldiers who fought besides the mighty lion Leodysseus in the First Great War of Mythos would go on to become the foundation upon which the army that bore his name would be built. Now known as the Golden Pride of Leandorr, this battalion of warriors guarded Leodysseus' flanks as he fought against the fiery Arraya. After the war was won, the surviving members of the Pride would become commanders in the new kingdom that was formed, with their greatest leader, a man named Atarius, taking on the surname Leodysseus and becoming the first king of Leandorr.
There you go. So is this Atarius then, or...
No, it's not. No. Yeah,
I think Atarius is going to be Atlas and Attila's dad, isn't it?
Oh,
I think it's further back than that, isn't it?
Is it
granddad?
Yeah, I think like many, because if this is the First Great War, it's probably great granddad.
Okay, that doesn't roll off the tongue as well, does it?
It doesn't. No, I didn't know when to stop. To be honest, it's probably further back than that. But it's like I've done enough now.
We'll get Jeremy to specify exactly how great.
Great times 23.
Yeah.
So obviously, Army of Leodysseus.
This is another 3.0, was it?
Yes, that's what they said. Yeah, you can see the joints there.
You can see it on those arms, can't you? Ooh.
Yeah.
Although even I wouldn't pose him like that.
No.
So
that's exactly how he's going to get posed on my shelf. So,
well, in fairness, it probably is on mine, but he'd have a shield in front of it.
But bend the arm a little bit more.
Yeah.
So he's got the lion mask, or it's a cat mask. I'm not sure if it's a lion. I guess
is that Hadriana's mask just upsized a little bit?
Slightly different.
It is. It is different, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, definitely. And it's pretty much all new.
Yeah,
down to the sandals.
Yeah.
All that armor and he's wearing sandals. Is this historically accurate, Rich?
It is.
It is.
The Romans are idiots. Yeah.
All you have to do is
very,
make your
very
roads very rocky, so they stub their toe.
Is that why they build the good roads?
Yeah. When they were in the colder climates, they'd have a slightly more of a wrapping on it rather than just an open sandal. But yeah, any of them in like North Africa or
it's
Middle
built
East.
thousands of miles of roads, but not invent a shoe. Wow. And they kind of got half sleeves here.
Yeah, again.
That is exciting to see half sleeves, to be honest.
Yeah. Very cool. And opens possibilities for all sorts of different type of figures. I mean, definitely reused in Cosmic, the half sleeves. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're an alien wearing a t-shirt, aren't you? It's going to happen now.
Of course.
Well, anything.
A cute guy. Yeah. And you get the alternate head with the big badass shield.
Another fantastic human male sort of head sculpt, isn't it?
He just awesome. Looks annoyed, doesn't he? He just looks really, really
badass.
Peed off.
Yeah.
Totally.
He's just killed half a dozen demons and he's on to the next group because he's angry.
Yeah. He's just angry about his sandals.
Yeah.
It's like, why can't somebody get me shoes? These guys I'm fighting have shoes. What's going on?
Yeah. They got spiky ones as well. What the hell?
Yeah.
His ankles
bloody orcs.
Like
I mean, not even human.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and there's the beautiful glamour shot. Look at that. Look at the way that light's going off the shield and everything.
I love this figure because obviously, as everyone knows, I studied Roman history at university, so this is absolutely right up my alley. But I loved Eric's reasoning behind why he looks like a Roman soldier, just because it's set however many hundreds, thousands of years before the current Mythos age sort of thing. Therefore, use more ancient armor rather than the medieval sort of stuff. So very clever, very cleverly done, and a very clever way to get it into the line.
Yeah. And more new weapons here.
Another figure that will bring loads of people into the line.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
It really will. I mean, I know they say they're going to order less of these now from pre-orders. This wave, I think, should be the one wave they don't do that, because you're going to get people turning up at toy shows just buying loads of this. Like loads and loads of this one. Loads and loads of snakes. It just...
And as it's a little bit of a smaller wave,
at Legion's Con,
people will be more easily able to afford the all-in.
Yeah.
To get all the figures, not maybe have to cherry pick or whatever. And people that like to buy a lot can buy a lot more. Although, of course, we're saving as well for something big. So, but we don't plan ahead, do we? We just what's in front of us at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, that paint on the shield. I mean, I'm a big fan of shields with decoration, and this is just another classic.
It's interesting that it has, and it was specifically pointed out, how it's all the factions are on there.
Right.
So it's got Basilia snakes. It's got Ethron's wings. It's got
the lion.
Yeah, and the antlers. So that's interesting. That why has that shield got all of them on it?
Well, I suppose they were fighting together before.
I mean, it probably is just that, but it's an interesting design choice anyway.
Sweet, yeah.
They also said that on the bio it said race and it said various. So although we're getting a human pride of Golden Pride of Leandorr.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
Soldier, you could have elves, hence the connection to Xylernia, maybe. Yes. So there's all that sort of feel to it as well.
They'll need to tighten those belts on the old corset to get the elves in there. Skinny lads.
I suspect we'll no doubt very quickly see a dwarven version after it's released.
Anthony's already made it. He just needs to put the head on top of whatever build he's made. And the torso.
Yeah, no, this is incredible. My Zezre Romans are in trouble. It has to be said. The only
4 if you'd like those in the next few years.
The only thing extra I would like, and this is me being demanding and a bit of a history geek, is a pilum spear rather than the one it came with. So that's like a thick
spear.
So it's a thicker base of this, a thicker shaft. Oh God, look what I'm doing! Thicker shaft, and then it goes into almost like almost like a rectangular bit, and then a really thin end with a point on. It's once you see it, you know it, sort of thing. And that's the action. That's the actual spear they had.
Okay.
But again, there's so many new parts in this. I'm not going to criticize Eric for not going historically accurate with that.
Yeah, it's Mythoss. And in Mythoss, you have another great beast. He's called Leodysseus.
You keep diving ahead before I get my last fact in. I was watching Jeremy's show.
Your fact, yeah.
And he said
so it's not your fact then.
No, he said the Roman fact will be. So you got me in fact now. He said the Roman look. Yeah, back off indeed. Yeah. He said that the Roman look will definitely be 100% be coming back in different colors and all this sort of stuff. So that's very exciting too.
Sweet. Yeah. I actually do hope that we get like a real Legion builder, the kind of eventually the $26 or maybe $30 by that time dollar version that we can just customize to our heart's content.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool, wouldn't it? Right, Leodysseus.
The first of the great beasts given life by Selene, Leodysseus the lion towered above the brave soldiers he led into battle during the first great war of Mythoss. A shining example of bravery, Leodysseus faced off against the demonic Arathir, using his massive hammer to defeat the fiery god of war. The lion's motto to be the shield that protects the realm and the sword that strike those who threaten its peace would form the core belief of the army that would eventually bear his name. That army would follow the example of unwavering dedication to military strength that Leodysseus showed during the First Great War, and his courage would be revered for all time within the kingdom of Leandorr.
Oh, he went for that, Rich.
You give me some dramatic music in the background there, John.
Yeah.
Got it for Leodysseus.
Production.
I might have to underlay that with a little bit of. It was too good, Mal. Yeah, maybe even more excited for him now. So the first thing I have to say about this guy is that I got a number of messages and people saying to me in person afterwards that finally the real hammer.
So it turns out Attila has a tiny little hammer.
He does.
Somebody said that Joe Vassapolo subsequently, maybe when they were putting the figures in the display case out in the hall or whatever, he brought the actual 1.0 hammer, the one that comes with Attila.
Yeah.
It's tiny.
So the dick has a tiny hammer. Well, there we go.
Yeah.
And just to see the size, you can see that the red shield soldier knight there in the picture. They posted it.
I was thinking when you read the bio.
Scale.
Yeah, when you read the bio, you're like, he was like, "Hey guys, I'm here to lead you in battle, guys," and everyone just running the other way, going, "Oh my god, this guy's going to eat us!" Just scattering to the winds, and he's like, "No, I'm here to make that." No, never mind.
Yeah, so this is an amazing figure. I mean,
incredible.
It's incredible. Yeah. You don't have to even like the faction if you don't want, but he is just incredible. And I don't mind Leodysseus. I actually think it's a cool faction. So, just Attila.
It's their leader, isn't it?
Yeah, he is the real leader. Yeah. This guy's the real leader. And he's got the 2 expressions, maybe 3 expressions you can see. He's got the open mouth as well. So that's pretty sweet. And
they were pointing out actually that although you can't see it on, I'm pointing at my screen. That's not helpful, is it? Although you can't see it on the go back, John, to the individual bits.
Oh, the individual ones, yeah.
Yeah. Although you can't see it in the head sculpt there, they'll actually have holes in the top above the eyes, so you can just pin the crown in.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way they can do it. Yeah.
I only noticed today, looking at it, of all the of all things to notice now. Again, on his armor, he's got all the other beasts.
Yes. Yeah. That is so cool.
Oh,
so
wow.
The shoulder pauldrons have got Ether on.
Yeah.
On his chest, he's got Basilia. He's got himself and
self and Xylona on the
place.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's got himself directly above Xylona on his groin area, which is a bit dodge, but we'll skip past that.
Yeah. He's got a little tribute to Xylona on his headdress as well. I actually saw someone asking if that was removable, that they'd prefer it without it, but no, I don't think it is.
Is the answer no.
It wouldn't work with it. There'll just be a hole there.
He wouldn't look up. He'd just, he looks amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely my favorite figure. Although I think Basilia because of the faction, but this one as a figure, if you're to give me one figure.
It's a 1A, 1B, 1C job, isn't it?
Yeah, this wave really is.
I feel a little, we're all a little bit like Mal on this one. They're just all good, it's hard to decide.
I will honestly say that, and it's no slight on it, it's just not my kind of thing, that the Roman centurion looking dude, I've forgotten what he's called already, he's probably
Golden Pride.
Yeah, the Golden Pride is probably number 2. The rest are 1A, B, C, D.
Right. So
ignore Mal, everybody.
Have you?
I think he looks great.
On Leodysseus, guys, or shall we just give our ranking?
I thought the armor. It's not designed for this, but maybe it's the way my mind works. But I thought the armor had a vaguely Egyptian sort of feel to it as well, with the headdress, with the sort of slotted things and the different colours down there, sort of thing, which I quite liked as well.
Why not lion, Egyptian, Africa?
Yeah.
It works. Certainly.
And then the fur ogre scale pieces is just like,
the potential of that is incredible.
How about us being like, they need to make him brute scale too, so he's bigger, and then it's like, all right,
yeah, we did
that's
say
even
that.
better.
I didn't want to mention that, but I was adamant in the run-up to it, and I said several times, no, ogre's too big, brute's fine, don't need ogre. And then he comes out and you're like, well, ogre's perfect.
Yeah. That's exactly how he should look.
Yeah, even the most arrogant people could look at this and go, you know what, I was wrong. This is perfect. Yeah. So for me, I think he's my one, with Basilia a close second. Then I think because he's so similar to the other snake, I'm going to go for Jenim, just because he's a crazy figure. Then the other snake guy, the Cackler, the Golden Pride, the Knight, and the last one is unfortunately Arraya, even though she's really cool as well with the dragon. But yeah.
For me, it's between him.
Settle in, everybody.
It's between him and the Cackler for number 1. The Cackler, as I say, I'm also very, very nervous about the double jointedness on there. So that's a little bit why it. Then it's Basilia, third, but 1C. Then it's probably the Serpenspire guard, or whatever it's called. Then it's
the other snake.
Yeah, the other snake. Then it's Jahia, or whatever it's called. I'm forgetting the names already. Yeah, the Jinn. Then it's the lady with the Arraya. Yeah. Which feels wrong because, as I say, there's so much cool stuff about her. It's weird. She's a really weird one for me because I don't like putting her there. I want her nearer the top, but then you look at all the others and you're like, no. And then, last but not least, they're fantastic looking, but the Pride ones, they're just, it is. It's the Legion.
Yeah, but you're not the biggest kind of knight soldier.
No, or Roman soldiers. Yeah,
figure,
I like me barbarians.
So,
the very fantastical things. So yeah.
Right, Rich, give us your 1 to 7.
For me, the Serpenspire Royal Guard is my number 1. That's everything I want in a snake person. As cool as Basilia is, he's absolutely number 1 for me. Mwindajii the Cackler, number 2. Fur parts, hyena, yeah, brilliant weapons. Third one for me is the Golden Pride of Leandorr, because it's Roman stuff. So again, ticks all the boxes for me. Then Leodysseus, then Basilia. She's a snake, but I've already got a snake really high up. And there's other cool stuff. Then Genum, and lastly, Arraya, the Talon bearer.
Yeah.
Again, she's a really cool looking figure, but there's so much goodness in this wave that somebody has to be last.
Yup. Somebody has to be last. Yeah. First, maybe last.
As the teachers say to kids in school, don't think yourself as 7th, you're the 6th runner-up.
That's a bit too much. That's a bit too much. Right, we need to move this along. So then we got this guy revealed. Bay it there.
Well, we got this guy revealed at the very end of the...
Yeah, but I think as figures, I think we'll go on to the other stuff after.
Yes.
So let's talk about him because he's relevant to the figures. Yeah.
I mean, he's
pre-order campaign in January. What's that, Rich?
I was going to say, I was a little disappointed he wasn't bigger, if I'm honest. No, I'm just teasing.
Yeah, so he's going to be available through Horseman in January 2025. And at this time, he'll only be directly available through 4 Horsemen. So I guess it'll depend on the campaign goals. People can go on about international shipping and all that kind of stuff. You either want it or you don't, I think, at this point. So it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And you just have to figure it out. Or
it's going to be,
or you just wait and see what happens. You can't be really wanting it and can't live without it and complaining and not getting it. So
yeah.
I think that's unfortunately the way it is. If there was enough interest, they could maybe drop ship it from China to some distributor in Europe, one of the retailers maybe, but I think that's not something they're prioritizing first up. I think they want to get it funded, which is fair enough.
And it's tricky for the retailer, isn't it? Because the boxes are going to be enormous. So unless you've got a warehouse, you're going to struggle to sort of store that to even then ship it out to people. Exactly.
Right. So there it is. I meant to put the centimeters on here just to be pedantic, but I didn't. So 31 inches in kind of width and 22 inches tall. So I guess 22 or 31 inches kind of how much space it takes up on a table. Yeah. So it's huge. It's massive. Yeah.
It's what, 93, 94 centimeters? It's a big boy.
It's almost a meter, Yeah. So incredible. And you see, it also will come with a second pack that comes with flames. Yeah. And I don't know, they said it's going to come with some sort of an accessory pack, extended tail, the wings that go slightly differently. I think, is it?
More like flight wings. Yeah.
And when that is with the flame and everything, that's going to be 70 inches. So 16 inches with the flame and 54 with the kind of tail and everything, and 28 inches high with those wings. So ridiculous. I mean, we can talk about the reaction. We posted the video on our Instagram that we took when we were there. See the reaction. I actually looked back at the G-Con live stream to see it, and unfortunately they had the name of the figure up on the screen as like this, like we have here, and the whole wheeling out of the dragon was just taking place in a small little box on the side. So they should have just maybe removed the presentation. But it was obviously, I don't blame anyone for that. It was just Jeremy was trying to do 10 things at once.
In the moment as well, probably, wasn't it? So
yeah. But you have lots of people that took videos of that being wheeled out, so you see it all over social media. That was it was pretty crazy. So there's a bit of story behind this, and it's Trevor's beautiful shot. we can do the story as well, Mal. There's the size comparison before we do that. Look at that. There's a troll in that picture and a horse and a goblin that you can hardly see.
It's the fact it dwarfs the troll, isn't it? It's just nuts.
That's the real like wow moment.
I'm so happy my wife loves dragons.
It's where I'm happy I don't have to justify it to anyone.
No, it's not justifying. It's more just
explaining why you're giving up space.
Yeah. For this size, it's not the money. The money is something, but it's the size. Where are you going to put it?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally.
It's like looking at that picture. Asa Hazar's going to have to take a running jump and jump up and try and punch him. In the face because he isn't reaching him because he's that big.
Yeah, I'm looking here. I've got my laptop, my mixer, camera, microphone, everything. It will not fit in this space that I podcast in. No. This table and whatever. I would have to have a wider if I was just to put it on this table.
I did start to, when was it, in the last couple of days, think maybe I should get a custom made table that you can sit in.
That's tomorrow's problem. Yeah. And then you see it here. I took a couple of pictures in the cabinet. That's they seem to have customized the skeleton. I think it's maybe the Red Death body. Yeah. And they charred up a skeleton head, so it's just getting absolutely baked in flames there. Was it you that said, Rich, when we were looking at it, that you could put a figure in the middle of that fire? Somebody around me said that, and then
it probably was me.
The character in the cabinet, which was brilliant. And there's a little close-up shot I took from the cabinet. So this is just me taking a picture of the prototype. So they have 2 prototypes of this. So they did 2 sculpts, or two prints, I suppose. Can you imagine how long that took to come out with the printer for the prototype?
One's paint.
Yeah.
It's like,
Sherry
or Cameron. We need
Sherry painted the whole dragon. Yeah.
We need you to paint a dragon. Oh, surprise! Here's another one.
Yeah, I was talking to her and she said it took 3 or 4 weeks to paint. Yeah, and she said it was a good while ago that she did it. It was this year, but it was a good while ago. So maybe start of the summer or something like this.
And that was a fun story as well, wasn't it? They told that they did it smaller originally.
Yeah.
And was it Eric who even said, it's not quite big. Let's try, or somebody said to him about printing it bigger.
Yeah.
And he said, as he tends to do. Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
And the minute they brought out the bigger head, everyone in the studio was just like, yeah, that's what we need. We need the bigger head.
So there is very happy looking Eric. They actually got delivery, I think, on the Sunday. They said this was on the Sunday of Legion's Con. So I don't know whether it delivered that day or whether they got into the studio on the weekend and they just brought it over. This is an actual first shot from the factory where they're doing the fine cuts, they call it. So this is actually factory plastic here, this big yellow dude. So they showed that. They were talking about it. A bunch of people have videos on social media, so I don't need to maybe repeat that here. But I just took some photos. I
will say, if you can see any of those videos on social media, and people probably have who are listening to this, how satisfying is the sound of that ratcheted wing?
Yeah.
It's like one of those
they were letting people
soothing
do it
videos.
Well. Yeah.
So I hope they keep that for the final, because I would love them moving that wing and you go.
Oh yeah, I think it'll all be ratcheted joints, those big joints for sure. Definitely. Yeah, they can't risk any sort of friction.
That's one of the best things with the Masterpiece Transformers is when they start, the ratchets start going and you're like, that's just such a good sound.
So there we go. Should we read the lore then to get through the dragon?
Go for it.
Okay, take a drink of water.
Check my camera.
Here you go, look at this. Oh, just taking a drink of something stronger.
The 5 pillars of the First World. The history books of Mythoss tell of various scaled races and beings who have long since vanished from the realm. Even the Dragoseer are nearly unknown across Mythoss in the modern age, and the mighty behemoths whose traits they are said to share have long been considered little more than fantasies told to children to distract and amuse. While it is true that there was once strange cults who worshipped ancient creatures they called the 5 pillars of the first world, those religions and their misguided followers vanished an age ago. Long has this been accepted truth of mythos. True dragons did not exist. But then the great tremor shook the world and everything changed. The realms suddenly grew larger and the dragons flew in Mythos once again. One of the ancient dragons known as the 5 pillars of the first world, the green dragon that makes its home in the deep forests of the west, is called by many names. Basilia the Green, the Pillar of the West, and the Warden of the Wood being a few of those monikers. Basilia was the first of the pillars to emerge in the modern age of Mythos. This mighty dragon looked out upon a landscape that was both familiar and strange to him. In the middle of the great sea, an area where no land should have existed, a new continent now lay. Flying high above these uncharted lands, Basilia looked down and saw a golden tower rising high into the sky, its sides adorned with the likenesses of mighty beasts. Strange beings gathered around the tower's base, pointing to the skies with fascination in their eyes as Basilia circled high above the tower. The Pillar of the West could sense the threat before him. This land and its people did not belong. They were intruders in the world he had known for so long, and their presence had to be dealt with. Flying back towards his den, Basilia knew what he had to do. He could not remember the last time all 5 of the pillars woke at the same time, but he also could not remember a threat as dire as what he saw before him now. He must awaken the others, and together they would decide what must be done to save the world of Mythos.
Really well done, Mel. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's the audiobook sealed, Mel.
Also, more dragons.
More dragons. Yeah. 5 dragons. How exciting.
What are we going to do?
And, the bit we forgot to mention, this is the European dragon.
Yes,
that's the very
dragon.
important part of
on our live stream. That's right, on our live stream before Legion's gone. Because that's actually the last time we were on together.
Yeah, where we talked about the types of dragon.
Yeah, exactly. And that was one of them, the European. So this is the classic dragon. I think they kind of said that they would, they were always going to do this type of dragon. I think that was their intention. So, well, we weren't to know, but yeah, I can totally understand it because it is the coolest looking one. I think we agree that. I mean, the 5 or 6 headed one is pretty cool, as well as the Hydra. That was pretty cool as well. But
imagine them putting that Hydra. Yeah, here we go. There's just like 7 heads. Enjoy.
Yeah, here's a load of Snake Man and a Hydra dragon, and then there's Rich Dunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I love that little bit we recorded is in last week's episode where it's you, where we're just talking on the floor about the Snake Man that's just been revealed. It's about 2-minute chat. You're just like, yeah, I've been on the floor for the last hour. I just love it. Such a good visual.
It's just the whole weekend of just figure after figure after figure that I desperately wanted and I've been talking about for ages.
In messages, I've kind of talked to people afterwards, and like, we didn't talk enough at Legion. I didn't talk enough to anyone really. I mean, probably you guys, because we were roomed together, and we were at the table together, so we got a good chance to talk. But other than that, it's very hard to talk to.
It was such
people
a blur,
enough,
the whole thing.
Because yeah, exactly. And it depends who you run into. If you go down to the lobby and then it's like, oh, they're there. I'm going to go over and talk to those guys, and then you just probably miss someone else that's further down the hall, Yeah, that's how it goes. Right, shall we move on to other news?
Oh, sorry, we should just say one last thing that I don't think we actually stated. The dragon, so the reign of the beasts was looking backwards, and Jeremy did say this, the reign of the beasts is looking backwards again to the first war. The dragon was actually the answer to the question of what comes next, wasn't it? It was part of the question of what comes next.
Right.
So the story with the 5 pillars is actually where we're going in Mythos and part of a teaser we get at the very end of the show.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay, let's go.
Hey, this is Trevor 16Shooter, and you're listening to the Euro Legions podcast.
Thank you, Trevor. I can thank people, even though it's a recording of them. I love it. So we got some other announcements then. Bunch of stuff. This could be a podcast on its own, but we're going to fit them in here because it's relevant and because we need to talk about them.
Yeah, we need to get it.
So, books was the first thing we got an update on. So this was all pre-dragon, as Mal said before. So, some people might have been like, come on, where's the dragon? Not really listening to this. So now's your chance.
Oh, we got one. We'd got the little guy from...
little fella, yeah.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, and if that's all you thought you were getting, maybe you were getting a bit...
Because they rattled through the reveals, didn't they, for G-Con? They were through all 7 figures in like 2 hours. And everyone was just like, what are we going to do for another 4 hours?
We knew there was something big. Huh?
Yeah.
We knew. So, book updates. So this is the first 10 years book. So the first thing they actually talked about was the lower book. So the Rise of the Dark 4 book. And they said that's Rise of the Dark 4 Volume 1. So there'll be more. They don't actually have a date on that, but their goal is to get it for Legion's Con next year. And the kind of bit of reveal we got from that is that we knew before it was obviously Jeremy and Eric doing the text, and Nate and Trevor with the art and the photography. And we got the announcement that Dave Williams is also doing some art for it. So that was very cool. Obviously, Dave is a big friend of ours in the podcast. So I was really happy for him. Such a cool, humble dude.
Yeah, I was so happy for David. It's just like, it's so well deserved.
Yeah.
And his art is amazing at the end of the day. So it's going to really enhance the book.
It absolutely is, yeah. But we did get some news on another book, which is coming early in 2025, which is this first 10 years of Mythic Legions. So this is basically it's a figure guide,
Yeah.
So if you have that He-Man book that Pixel Dan did, I guess it's going to be broadly similar to that with the figures, a kind of 1 page with the figure pictures and all the details, accessories, various photos. So this is a beautiful coffee table book that will be definitely winging its way across the pond to all 3 of us. It also was revealed that the Silver Knight 2 is coming with the book, or it's going to be released the same time as the book. So
which book? I wasn't quite sure. Is it
this one?
This one. It is this one.
It'll go up
for
it'll go up for order at the same time as the book.
Yeah.
So I love this. I mean, I am so excited about the book and I had said before I'd even said it to Jeremy when we talked about it previously. It reminds me of the Lego minifigure books, and they always come with Lego minifigures, and then they've announced that this is basically coming with the book. I mean, there'll be people who don't order it. I doubt that, but really. So it's like getting a figure with the book is brilliant. It's an awesome idea.
I've already seen quite a few original Silver Knight builders on eBay all of a sudden.
Oh, really? Wow.
It's a figure you never saw, and then all of a sudden it's like bing, 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 they're all popping up. It's like, okay.
What sort of price range?
You think you're looking around about the sort of £200-ish mark?
Don't do it, people.
I think that's a new head sculpt on it as well, isn't it? So
yes. Yeah.
Wonder
so
what that's coming with.
It's definitely the updated Knight body. That's the Red Shield Soldier pauldrons, but looks like, is that the Valiant Knight body?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the Red Shield.
I know it's the Red Shield body, but
Red
it's like
Shield
the Valiant
body,
Knight, lower legs. And...
Mm-hmm. So, a mishmatch of the newer Knight parts. And I assume the new Knight arms as well. Of course, they're not going to do the old Knight arms anymore, I'd imagine, except on older figures, if they do re-release or whatever. So lots of cool weapons. Look at this shield. I just realized when I looked back at this, I didn't notice it on the day. is the Horseman.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
Is that the Horseman logo on the shield?
Yeah, it looks like it.
In
And you know
bone-coloured.
anyone that's listened to this show knows how much I love these shields. At the Pop and Swap event, which I'll talk about next week, I went after anyone that had any sort of shields.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So I came home with a bunch of them. Yeah. So
£15 worth, John?
no,
Is that what put you over?
no. It's all the Novian lean heads that I got.
It's
Could
just
be another
in fairness,
podcast on its own, just what I got from the Pop and Swap.
it's just as well he's got a big bulky shield like that, because let's face it, a spear's not going to do any good against a skeleton, so he needs to break it with a
Oh,
shield.
yeah. You made this joke already. No, I'm joking.
Everyone did.
Yeah.
It's a funny joke. Sorry,
It
Trevor.
is a funny joke. Yeah. This is a brilliant picture again, Trevor. We talked last week about his photography session in Intern, and this kind of has given me an even bigger appreciation of his work, I think, and knowing kind of what goes into it. I guess we had a vague idea. Now I have an even better idea. So yeah, this is the only Legion builder from the original wave that hasn't been re-released in some way, shape, or form. So that's why it's coming with the Silver Knight 2. It's nothing particular to the book or anything. It's just that's how they wanted to get this figure out into our hands. So I thought that was also pretty sweet. They're always thinking of what they can do that makes sense, and this definitely makes sense for this time. I do wonder if they have the pile of the books in the warehouse or something. They're just waiting for the figure to come in. Or maybe the other way around.
That early.
No.
Yeah, I think
No, that's true. I assume this figure is maybe shipping with the Necronominous wave. Wouldn't that make sense if they get on the container with that?
Yes. Yeah, that would.
Not that I know jack shit about logistics either, so let's not go too deep on that. We also got more teasers. So there's going to be a Cosmic Legions comic book, which I think is music to your ears, Mal.
Oh, yeah. It's a funny one, isn't it? Because whilst even with Cosmic, the lore wouldn't say is my first point of interest with it. I just think they're awesome figures. Same with Mythic. I think they're just awesome figures. I love the idea of a comic, and does feel like they've tried to build a story, or with Cosmic there's much more of a story they're trying to build, and Jeremy sort of said it, but this will allow them to get the story out there quicker, and then maybe release figures based on the story rather than trying to tell the story with the figures.
Yeah.
And in that, they could then bring in newer fans who are fans of the story, and then and they can get the figures that fit this cool comic, this cool story. And I'm a comic book fan, as you guys know anyway. So yeah, this is very cool.
Yeah, and this
even cooler than that is who's doing it.
Yeah, so they call this an Ashcan or something, if I got that term right.
Yeah, Ashcan edition.
It's written there. Yeah, Ashcan edition. So this was given out for free at Legions Con, which is again, just something you don't expect, but huge little bonus there. And it's the art is being done. So Joe Suter is the main person doing the comic, I guess the art for it. Yeah. So he's a really nice guy. We know him through the Cabal, and I was on Legions Cast, an episode where he was on as well. Incredibly nice guy, very nice, kind of cool. You wouldn't think he's big shot, but he used to work at IDW, so he's a proper artist, and he does an awful lot of the kind of pop and swaps on the Cabal. He'll post really cool pop and swaps, and I think he also sells a lot of parts in the group. So I'm sure people have had lots of good experiences buying stuff off Joe. But we also have Dave Williams again doing some art for this. Trevor Williams doing some stuff for this. We have Jeremy DeWitt, our friend from Michigan, My Wife's Gonna Kill Me podcast. And Guy Dorian Sr. I don't know him, but he's also involved in it. So can't wait to see how this goes. You see in the corner it says 4 Horsemen Publishing, so I wonder if they're starting a publishing house.
Oh,
Maybe.
Maybe. Why not?
they're not taking over the world.
Yeah.
How long may it continue?
Sideshow and Mythic Legions, that was also announced. That was one.
Or as somebody immediately said when they saw the picture, Sex Legions.
Folds. Yes. Maybe a plus would have been better. Yeah. So this is going to be interesting. I'm not sure. Not to be insane negative. I'm not sure I need these, but I'm very interested to see them. And maybe they capture people that are into this kind of stuff. Probably people from within the fandom already, I guess.
They'll look.
They might push it a bit further. I mean, there's lots of people that go for the bigger statues.
Yeah.
But
there are some
usually
statue collectors.
Oh, really? And it doesn't matter if I suppose you get maybe some of these.
It's not necessarily about
fantasy.
They just like cool
the
statues
property.
and
right.
Yeah. They're just going to be too expensive for me to.
Yeah,
same here.
But of course, I'm interested to see what the figure looks like, but I also am super interested to see what sort of dio piece it comes on, or this kind of scene, because often these statues come on a kind of a little kind of a plinth or whatever that has a kind of a little dio scene.
Yeah, it'd be really good to see somebody else's take on the characters too, because obviously Eric will have final approval.
Yeah, I wonder how far will it be like just a kind of a statue, maybe more detailed version of a very similar style, or will it actually be Sideshow's take fully with obviously last approval to the Horseman?
I will say the assumption is statue, but I tell you what, if they do come out with a
1/6 scale,
a 1/6 scale figure with cloth goods and things, they might have me. I might have to find me for that. But I'm pretty sure it feels like it's a statue, doesn't it? What they do so well is statues, and
so very briefly, any guesses where this might go with terms of character selection? Say first one or two. Mine is Arathir for the first one, even just with the flames there, but.
I've got a horrible feeling it'll be Atlas. Just because there's that He-Man sort of vibe to it. So I think...
Yeah, and I just don't think it's... I think Arathir has a more wide appeal.
I think we'll get a diorama piece of Attila versus Gorgo in combat.
Oh, I didn't think of a versus.
Oh, good Lord, we are getting expensive now, Mal.
Well, it depends on the scale,
pounds, potentially.
If they did a 1/10 statue, maybe... those two would be the same maybe price as a 1/6 scale statue. I don't know.
They do
very cool. Anyway, I'm intrigued to see this.
It'll be beautiful to look at.
There's a link where you can sign up on the Sideshow website for Mythic Legions, so you get a notification when there's more info about this. So the Horsemen announced it on their stream, and I'm sure you can find it somewhere. Right. D&D for Legions, or role-playing game, So this is one that we have had in the ether for a while. We've definitely mentioned it before and has been kind of hinted at before. So there is officially going to be a 4 Horsemen Mythic Legions role-playing game based on the 5e D&D rules, which you've done a little bit of research on, Mal.
I mean, I've played 5th edition D&D previously, but I was having a little nose around, and you can actually pick up the basic rules for 5th edition for free online. So if people want to get a bit of a view, people who aren't aware already want to get a bit of an idea of what it'll be like. It is the basic rules, so I don't think there was... I think there was character creation in there, but, look them up, find them, have a read, you'll get a bit of an idea what's coming,
Yeah, and they're going to do miniatures as well. So you can see a little example of them there. The Horseman also posted this picture. You got the troll, and you got a Kurzog, bunch of skeletons. You got what's her name? Artemis.
Artemis is there, yeah.
You got a Magnus, I think, or someone that looks a bit like Magnus.
Yeah, painted silver.
Yeah, there's a dwarf there, isn't there?
There's a dwarf there, yeah,
That's
right in the front. How could I
Hadriel,
forget?
not Hadriel, no.
Sorry, yeah.
He's the one.
Looks a bit like Hadriana. Yeah,
It's
kind of similar build.
It's not Ravina, hopefully.
No,
No,
not
it's
really.
the one with the. It's the.
Is it the evil one, Lady
No.
Averona? No,
No, it's what's her, I can't think what her name is. The one who the what do they call her from Leodysseus? She's got the big staff and she's a big mace staff.
Oh, Faustia.
Faustia. It's Faustia, I think it's meant to be.
Okay, no, she's not purple though. She's
No,
red
but
and
neither-
gold.
Yeah, but
I suppose they
wait,
painted them a
which
bit differently.
Paint them
yeah.
however you want to paint them, can't you? I think
That's
the
true.
point.
That's
You
true.
can do
Yeah, but
whatever
I
you
would
want.
expect the horsemen to paint them like their figures. No?
No. Well, it's
No, that's
silver Magnus, so it's not.
True. Yeah, true. Anyway, there's a game of this on the Four Horsemen YouTube channel. You can go over and see it. They did a game at Legion's Con with Pete McCarthy was there. Jeremy Gerard's son Jacob was there, and a few other people. I think maybe D Amazing, was he doing it? Do you remember?
I'm not sure. I think he did that one. Did he?
No. Anyway, it's I haven't got round to having a proper look at it yet. I just had a quick scan of it. Obviously, Cameron Smith from the studio was behind this. He's running the whole thing, and he was DMing that game. So it's supposed to be pick up and play and get right into it right away. So yeah, and it's going to be a
Super
Kickstarter in
excited.
2025 early.
I will be backing it with all the tiers.
Yeah.
All the,
Oh yeah.
all the
This
stuff.
is the type. Yeah. And you can get future expansion packs and stuff. And I actually we actually chatted at I think it was lunchtime at Intern to Cameron. I was chatting to him. I don't think you guys were there actually, and he was telling me that he went to Ireland in the summer, and then he said, "Oh, but I can't tell you why because it actually was a work trip." And I was like, "Oh." He said, "But you will find out tomorrow." He said, I was at the University of Maynooth, which is a university just outside of Dublin, about 40 kilometres, maybe 30 miles outside of Dublin. And it has actually, the reason I know Maynooth quite well is because it has a really good golf scholarship program, probably the best one in Ireland, probably the only one.
Okay.
So I didn't go there, but I know that that's kind of what it's known for now these days. But also, it seems to be known for learning how to do this type of stuff, which is launch a game and whatever. I don't know exactly what Cameron was doing there. Maybe we should get him on to have a chat because he's a very
Awesome. I'd love to talk.
yeah, and we should get him on.
Yeah, it makes sense that if you're going to do a week-long course about how to design games and that sort of stuff, you want to do it in a country where the weather's so bad that no one's tempted to go outside and they just stay in all the time focusing on the game design.
He said
so
the weather,
they fit that
weather
perfectly.
was beautiful. He
Was it?
got the week in the summer that it was nice, and he had an extra 3 days tacked on to the end of the trip, like any sensible person that crosses that Atlantic and goes that far. And so he went up and around.
Who would just go for a tiny little bit of time and not go and see anything around?
And hardly step out of a hotel.
Idiots, Mal.
Nobody who would do a thing like that.
So I think I am incredibly excited for this. I can't wait for this. This might derail my painting for Legion's Con if this drops at some stage. It probably won't. I don't know how long it takes for a game to come out, so it mightn't be in our hands next year. So, maybe the game itself will, but maybe the miniatures take a bit longer. I don't know how that.
Yeah, well, they were talking, weren't they? Somebody said, "Are they going to be painted miniatures?" And they said, "Oh, we hadn't thought, but maybe we could." But if they're going to do that, that'll obviously delay stuff. So maybe it'd be unpainted
I
first.
don't
whole-
think they should do painted.
No, I think there's a whole, obviously the miniatures scene is much more developed than, say, for example, the Mythic Legions customizing scene, or even action figure customizing scene. So there is a whole bunch of services there where you can get people to paint your minis.
And you don't
there's
need
websites
the
where you can
miniatures to
just
play the game.
No, and you don't even need to have them painted.
No.
You could use your figures, I guess.
Yeah, I quite like the idea.
As long as
of-
people around you didn't mind you having a big figure on the table or whatever. Then,
Oh, well, isn't it not a fun way of
Oh, it is.
Getting other people to buy the figures, and why not have a go at customized building your figure?
It is, but there is things about moving the stuff around the board, and to a certain distance. So I don't know. Here's my ogre hiding behind this tiny miniature tree. But I can see everything from his ankle up. I'm actually hidden. Just have to suspend your.
And the dragon. Cool.
And I can promise you, we're going to try and play a game of this on the podcast.
Yeah, Jesus,
for sure. Yeah,
okay. You have to babysit me through it. Then,
I
don't play these sort of
like
things
every
anymore.
podcast, Rich. It's fine.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Hold my hand. Get me drunk and hold my hand. It'd
this
be fine.
Is a reason, another reason for me to travel over, and we can just get our,
over on the table,
our 6 packs of beer and sit around the table and do it.
Very delivered. Boom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I expect LegionsCon, maybe not next year, but LegionsCon, say 26, to be just spontaneous games of this breaking out in the lobby.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
That would be incredible, wouldn't it? Or when people have, or maybe just a table at the con for gaming, or a couple of tables in the side room, and when if anyone sells out their table, just set up a game instead. Yeah, you'd want to be doing very well though, right? Infinite Legions was another thing. So there's a big Goliath scene at LegionsCon. Lots of people are big into it, and it's very cool. They're smaller figures, very customizable, and can pop and swap to your heart's content. And the first figure in this Infinite Legions line is going to be based on the characters from the original Goliath creator, Matt from O'Neill Design. So they released this picture of a kind of build of the figures. It's this kind of space dude. Some Cosmic Legions parts definitely in there, Mal. So and also cool extra parts that we're already seeing here, like a hand cannon, and obviously the helmet and the shoulder pieces and stuff like that. But the whole concept of this line, I think, is that they're going to take, I guess it's a bit like maybe Skullman has already been a similar part of this kind of concept, maybe.
Like, feels like it takes it further than that, maybe, because they're going to create.
Maybe it takes it further, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they create together with the GR.
What they've already got.
Yeah. But I'm guessing they're going to focus more on the smaller toy lines sort of thing, It's not as if all of a sudden they're going to be doing a Mythic version of a G.I. Joe character or anything like that, because the bigger companies obviously
I guess
very precious about their IP.
It allows them to have a thing that this is the thing if we collaborate with someone else to make a figure that uses the parts from our system, or can use some of our own kind of IP in terms of the sculpts and everything like that, and then we can plug it straight into this type of thing, rather than having to have a new kind of concept every time somebody comes and says, "Oh, can you?" Like I can imagine when the Skullman thing came up, that was just a kind of a new thing. Whereas if Skullman came today, they could say, "Right, let's plug it into Infinite Legions," and it goes into that bucket, and it maybe then means that they can approach people about it as well. I don't know, just thinking from the business perspective, maybe.
I like the idea with this and Legacies of Mythoss, which we're going to talk about in a bit, because there was talk of because somebody asked the question with Legacies of Mythoss, will it be its own line, or will it be an addition to the Mythics line? And this, I suppose, the same question, but nobody thought to ask it. I suppose it could be expanded further. That's why. I think it'd be cool if they almost identified those characters and those things with a sticker on the box, say, a bit like McFarlane does his premium edition,
gold label,
I think
or whatever.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Keeps it in the lines, but this is something slightly special, sort of.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's cool. I think it allows them to do that and another way, So it gives them a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, we'll see what they do, won't we?
I think this guy looks cool, doesn't he? Let's be honest.
He looks badass, yeah.
Very cool. And obviously you capture all the Goliath people as well with this.
Yeah.
So that's, and there is a lot of crossover already, but now there's to be even more. That guy from, that Matt from O'Neill Design, he was really cool guy. Really nice. He gave a nice kind of presentation of himself and his company and his history. It was very interesting. And it's also just brilliant for us as fans because we get more figures, more parts, more unique things that, you know, if we're like, it's more of this. Oh no, this is just this total thing out of left field that we didn't expect. You know, there's more potential for that now, which is even better. And if you're thinking of customs, I'm just looking at this going, wow, I'd love that shoulder piece now and make a Cosmic Legions custom with that and some other parts.
There's a good chance it'll be, I mean, because the original character was this pale blue mix of pale and slightly dark blues. So there's a good chance the picture we've got up here, which is the render in a colour, that colour will be could be close to what we get it in as well. So,
it could be very similar, Yep. Right. Let's move along. We have the map. Let's come back to the map. First, we talk about the Legacies of Mythoss. So this was throwing the bone to all the Otto stands. They're looking for all of us that want an Otto, basically. This is kind of formalizing the All-Stars in a different way to me, I think. It's kind of saying, right, we're not going to do any more All-Stars waves as such.
Yeah.
And the re-releases are going to come in this Legacies of Mythoss thing, and they're actually going to be version 2s, basically.
Yeah, the time of All Stars is done, isn't it? I think it's fair.
It seems to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, that's not official. That's our reading between the lines here, I think. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Based on Ashes of Agbendor and now this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he looks cool. It's a new head sculpt,
So
apparently.
good.
So
brilliant.
Yeah. I'm delighted with this anyway. And they said this is going to pop up, like it's just going to pop up at certain points, and it's going to be like 2, 3, maybe figures where it's just going to be, okay, we're just going to release these 3 Legacies of Mythoss figures for pre-order. They're up on the site for... Oh, Mal's got a scoop. I should have a Mal scoop.
Yeah, I should have. I hope the person who told me this doesn't mind me to... They'd already...
Don't name check them then.
No, I'm not going to. But
sources are protected.
Yeah. There was another figure already ready to show. Well, that was right. It wasn't ready to show. So they've already got an idea who will be with Oath, though.
Yeah.
When that
they said at the con, didn't they? I think when they were revealing it, that they got the first 3 waves, I think, lined up already.
Right.
Well, the only reason we got a second picture is because they hadn't quite got this other figure ready.
Okay, so this other figure is very, very close to being ready to go. Whereas, I mean, I guess you could just write, 4 or 5 names on paper or 10 names on paper.
It's got to be an Urzok, surely.
Oh, yeah.
If you get an Oath, though, it's got to be an Urzok fighting him.
Why not? Yeah, I always said an Oath and an Urzok 2-pack, but I'll take them separately at the same time.
Did they make it clear whether this would be a pre-order or whether this would be an in-stock drop?
I think it's a pre-order, yeah.
It's got to be, hasn't it? Pre-order,
Yeah, because they can't gauge how much...
characters.
Yeah. Judging by eBay, you'd say order 10,000 or however many of those, thousands and thousands. But maybe when they put up for pre-order, they realize it's not that many. So...
but it's just such a good way to get the... Yeah, the axe is amazing, isn't it, Mal?
Yeah,
it's just such a good way to get the characters back without the clunky older sculpts. And we love the older sculpts, but they are clunky now compared to the stuff nowadays. So, I mean, I'm presuming Thord will be released at some point in this.
Oh, yeah.
Which is great because the old version of him is meh compared to the new stuff.
New dwarf parts, please. Yeah. Right, a couple of things quickly to get us out on here. I just want to talk about this. They did release the... this was maybe just before Legion's Con, the details about where they are in production. So next week, it's going to be the retailer wave, the 29th of November. There's going to be a bit of wallet sobbing for that, guys. I just looked at how much our pre-order cost for that, and it's not 3 figures.
You said you'd cover us for that, John, yeah? Just
I've got to give you the money for that, and I've ordered the extras of Fisher Ice from Big Bad. And
we're crazy. We're stupid.
We are. Or I am.
Necronominus production is complete-ish. What that means is that all the direct orders are being shipped to the Horsemen currently, due to arrive end of the year, early January. and they get shipped out. So that means
paid
all
for all
pre-orders,
that.
not just, American pre-orders, all pre-orders direct at the Horseman will go out. So, your all-ins, if you just ordered one figure, if you ordered a bunch of figures. And All Stars 6 is Q1 2025. So again, dropping, you need to check what you've ordered at retailers for those. And Graveyard Skeletons is also coming Q1/Q2. So they're very quickly. So
I was running through this list with my wife, and it was a pains to point out that I've prepaid for all of this. I was like, there's going to be a run of very large boxes arriving in the first.
Yeah, you haven't prepaid for the retailer wave, mate.
Yeah, I didn't mention that. It was the stuff from January onwards I was talking about, so that's fine. Yeah.
So, and then something very cool they dropped, I think at the end of G-Con, was about the map. And they said that the map doesn't stop at what we know. It's actually bigger. And they dropped this teaser image. This image is from the G-Con stream. So Rich did send me a version that's really brightened up. So if you do that, if you brighten up the image, you might see even more. I don't know what you can just see more of the map, but not really clear what it is really. But it just gives possibilities of more types of figure, more.
Yeah. Well, it's not just that there's more of the world. There's lots more. It's like Mythos is actually quite a small continent as well. It's not even as if it's a massive continent that's there. It's because the greens and that, you can't see it on the picture here, but like the bottom green island, as it looks like there, actually is just the end of a big continent. It just keeps on going. So there's like huge amounts.
What about my T-Tel from the game now? Am I going to get an updated one from those guys?
Yes, in 2033.
I was going to frame that now, but I think I'm just going to. It's not even a T-Tel, is it? It's just a cloth thing.
Not meant to be a T-Tel.
But this, I think this reveal was my favorite thing of the whole weekend.
Wow.
As much good stuff as all, just because it opens up so many possibilities. And it's like, you've got the lush to the left of the screen as we're looking at it. You got the lush forests, which is where obviously Beathir is from. But then you got like a deserty one down there on the lower right, and this, just opens up so many possibilities. Yeah,
it's incroyable, as the French said.
Yeah, I want to see. Because I'm greedy. I already want to see the whole map. So it's like, is this actually?
We just had this little bit of the world, in the middle, and now you're wanting more, even though we've got more.
Yeah, I'm greedy. What can I say?
Yeah, so we got Snake Men. I want more. I want Lizard Men.
Yeah. Which continent are the Lizard Men on? Tell me now.
Mythos.
So what's your most hope for from this first type of characters that come new?
Lizard Men. No, I think first.
There's Lizard Island. There we go.
Yeah,
Lizard.
Yeah, basically, I'm going for the barren looking one on the bottom right. That's Lizard. That's Lizard Land in my head. No, I think Jeremy gave
it just Lizard Land.
That'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
with 3 Zs or something.
Yeah.
Lizard.
Yeah, Jeremy hinted, didn't he, on Offworld that it was it's time to set sail.
Yeah, so he said on Kurt's show it's actually shooting the shove.
Oh, was it? I thought it was Offworld.
Yeah. Okay. No, it was shooting the shove. Jesse just couldn't make it, but it was shooting the shove. He said let's set sail for Legions Con 2025. Yeah. So we're going to have some sort of water creatures, pirates, maybe, Mel. I think pirates would be a big priority for you, Mel.
That'd be very cool.
Yeah. What would be your number one, or is that too hard a question? Especially spontaneously.
It's too far out to even begin to imagine what might be at this point for me, because they didn't even specify new creatures, new races, new.
Yeah,
Sharkmen, Squidmen. It's like that's what we need.
Yeah. Sea
basically.
Creatures. Yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah, I think that's where I am with it. Yeah, I hope we're going to get sea creatures. So let's see what they can do with them. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be awesome. Right, so I think that's enough of that for this week. We got more Legions Con to come next week with a lot of the stuff we picked up, as we said, more about our experiences, anecdotes, maybe some pictures. Get some pictures.
I'll stretch this out.
Stay safe, everybody, in the wider world of Mythos.